Hello viewers, and welcome to my video where I will be sharing with you how I lost 50 pounds in 6 months and how I continue to keep it off. Disclaimer, I am not a professional anything. I have no degrees nor licenses. I am simply a cisgendered woman in her 20s. What works for me may not work for you. Modify as needed. I am also not sponsored by anyone.
Mental health.
All right, physical health relies on mental health. In order to change my body, I had to make sure my mind was ready. I started with the basics. I avoid toxic people. There have been people in my life that had at least one toxic trait, such as often gossiping, speaking ill of their friends, being manipulative, making me feel drained, or negatively influencing me. I considered spending less time with them or cutting ties with them completely. Unfortunately, it can be pretty difficult to avoid the toxic person if they are a family member or a coworker. I do my best to set boundaries with those I can't completely avoid. I recognize that I deserve to spend my time with those who respect me and make me feel like I'm worth something. I avoid social media. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt was right. Seeking outside validation can also become an unhealthy obsession. I noticed both of these behaviors in myself and what they did to me. When my day was ruined by one of my posts not receiving enough likes or comments, or by seeing someone else's posts, they were red flags. It prompted me to quit Facebook a year ago. It was a great decision. I decided to live for myself and not for others. I do my best to get good sleep. For me, that means an uninterrupted chunk of at least 7 hours. If I don't get that, I'm a crabby zombie that overeats. Not getting sufficient rest messes with my metabolism too. I practice good hygiene every day. I brush my teeth, wash my hands, wear clean clothes, use deodorant, wash my body, and don't neglect my undercarriage. Making sure I'm clean and not stinky makes me feel better about myself. I groom how I want to. If I want to shave my legs and or my armpits, I do it. If I want to get a manicure and or a pedicure, I do it. If I want to try a bold haircut, I do it. Gender and labels don't matter here. What matters is that I feel comfortable in my own skin. The same goes for how I dress. I dressed how I wanted to before, during, and after weight loss. How I dress affects how I feel. I work a job where I don't have to wear anything special. If I feel like wearing makeup and a cute outfit, I put them on, and it boosts my confidence. If I don't feel quite up to it, I'll slip on a t-shirt and an oversized sweatshirt, and I'll feel cozy all day. Not gonna lie, I was self-conscious about my body in high school to the point that I would wear a sweatshirt in hot weather just to hide my belly. Then I had a realization. Everyone that encounters me can already tell what my body type is like. It doesn't matter how much I try to cover up. Furthermore, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. All shapes and sizes can be beautiful. These epiphanies were game changers. Having the confidence to find my style made me feel like myself and gave me the confidence to trek through my weight loss journey. When I gained this confidence, it was easier to believe, I can do this. I can lose weight.
I can go the distance.
Mindfulness has been my key to learning to regulate my emotions. A friend of mine has described mindfulness as breaking the fourth wall. I try my best to observe my thoughts and behaviors. If I notice myself exhibiting a certain behavior that I want to change, I take a moment to step outside of judgment and take note of what's happening. In Bill Crawford's book, Life from the Top of the Mind, he teaches the reader, or the listener, the brain model. It directs your brain to switch from using your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for activating your fight or flight response, to using your neocortex, the part of your brain responsible for thinking, reasoning, and remembering. B stands for breathe. Ideally, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. R stands for relax. Loosen your shoulders, unclench your jaw and fists, lower your eyebrows. A stands for ask. Ask yourself, is this how I want to feel? Does this emotion or behavior serve me? Would I recommend this to a loved one? How do I want to feel? I stands for imagine. Close your eyes and imagine a time when you felt that emotion you want to feel in this moment. Where were you? Who was with you? What did you physically feel? What sounds and scents did you pick up? The more details you remember and envision, the better. N stands for notice the difference. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to be mindful of your emotions and regulate them. Meditation is a wonderful tool to help people build connections in their brains for regulating emotions. There are also people that believe in using meditation for manifesting, envisioning what they want to come true. When I started my weight loss journey, Noom was my guide. Noom is a weight loss app that I subscribed to for 8 months. It gives lessons on nutrition and psychology, provides a calorie counter, a step counter, coaches, a support group, and more. I found it very helpful. Now that I have read all the lessons and lost weight, I use my Fitbit smartwatch and Fitbit app to track my workouts, steps, and calories. The smartwatch wasn't free, but the app is. I find them both helpful. Anyway, Noom told me to envision myself reaching my goal weight and living in my ideal body while meditating. I couldn't imagine reaching my goal weight and living in my ideal body. This prompted me to take before selfies and edit away what I wanted to sculpt. I wasn't sure if this was going to discourage me. Fortunately, in my case, it made me think, this actually might be doable. I might not be as far away from my ideal form as I thought. Meditating has become a somewhat regular activity of mine. I like to sit in a quiet spot during breakfast and focus on box breathing for a bit. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I have a good breathing rhythm, I'll either do my best to clear my mind or repeat a mantra in my head. I'll admit that I often bring crystals and hold them while meditating, but that's optional. I'm not sure if they make a difference, but I got them for free, so there's no harm in using them in case they do help. Some people pray. I meditate with crystals. Journaling is another way to help regulate emotions. To me, journaling feels like what I imagine it feels like to cast my memories out of my mind and into a pensive in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World. Writing allows me to organize my thoughts and reflect instead of keeping them cooped up in my head. Another thing I've done as an emotional coping strategy is create a confidence playlist to listen to on days that I'm feeling down. I haven't made a calming playlist, but I know what albums and soundtracks to listen to when I'm feeling anxious. I have also found a specific song that makes me cry every time I listen to it. I listen to this song when my sadness manifests physically and I need to cry as a reset button. I also practice self-love. Self-love takes many forms, just like everyone's different kinds of love language, which include words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. I am gentle with myself verbally. I try to not be hard on myself when things go a different direction than I intended. I remind myself, I am a work in progress just like everyone else. I can learn from this. I avoid self-deprecation even when I'm joking. I especially never call myself fat. The word fat shouldn't be used to describe people, only objects. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix is a fat book. It is a literal weapon. That is an acceptable use for the word fat. I recognize that calling myself fat will not help my confidence, will not make people laugh, and will not help me lose weight. It will only make others uncomfortable.
Like, how are you expecting them to react anyway? Oh, you're fat. Oh. Thanks for making things awkward.
Gabriel Iglesias is probably the only one that can make people laugh by calling people fat. He has mastered this by not focusing on the negatives, nor anyone specific. He has shown the world how beautiful bigger people can be. Gabriel's stand-up act just maps out the levels of big with little judgment. It's more like, we are here, we're big, what of it? I treat myself within reason. We all want things, but it isn't always a good time to buy them. In that case, I sometimes treat myself by making a nice meal, snack, or drink for myself. However, calories are a currency for the body, and turning to food for comfort can become unhealthy. I proceed with caution. However, keeping a form of chocolate in the house in case of a Dementor attack isn't a bad idea. I love to get comfy and or cozy. I've noticed that I feel the most comfortable laying in bed right when I wake up, so I try to recreate that feeling. Cuddling with pets or a significant other is also fantastic. I do what makes me happy by myself or with people who make me happy. Hobbies and spontaneity can do great things for me. I've heard that reading is the least stressful activity and that singing is a good source of happiness. I like doing both on a regular basis. I often sing while driving alone. Also, I give myself permission to say no. I don't need to fulfill everyone's obligations, but I try to be respectful when I have already made plans with others ahead of time. I am productive. As backwards as it may sound, as a form of self-love, sometimes the best thing to do for myself is my chores. So I prevent procrastination or just stop stressing out. I like to listen to music and sing while I wash dishes, do laundry, and clean. Also, preparing for the next day is a gift to future me. Then my mind can rest a little easier, knowing that the next day is a little more likely to go slightly smoother because I set myself up for success.
Food!
I serve myself food in smaller dishes. This helps prevent me from grazing from the source container until it's all gone. Bigger dishes also tend to trick me into thinking I'm getting gypped if I don't fill them. If I fill smaller dishes, I won't have that problem. I name my creations to remind myself of their awesome potential. For example, I named my salads Victory Salads. My salads usually comprise of baby spinach, cucumber slices, grape tomatoes, sometimes honey roasted almonds with cranberries, and then an air-fried fillet of tilapia placed on top. I'll also squirt about a tablespoon of fat-free ranch on the side to dip forkfuls in. What do those salads taste like? They must be pretty good if you call them that. They taste like victory. On weekdays, I usually eat a protein bar with a cup of coffee for breakfast. Bring a protein shake to work and drink 1/3 of it each break. Eat a victory salad for dinner and then snack afterward. I've been generally avoiding eating red meat, which hasn't been difficult for me. I prefer seafood for protein intake. I've also switched from drinking 1% milk to almond milk. Some snacks I indulge in include Halo Top light ice cream, Brookside chocolates, Skinny Pop or Smart Food popcorn, both are great, an apple with Swiss cheese and naan. Oh, naan is amazing. Roasted and lightly salted almonds, veggie straws, and a banana with peanut butter. I also love putting Nutella on bananas, but Nutella is calorically dense. Be careful. I don't drink alcoholic beverages, which is probably why I love hot drinks so much. Basically anything served at a cafe, I freaking love. Tea can feel like a comforting treat without a significant amount of calories. The calories just make an appearance in how I sweeten my tea. Plant-based coffee creamer can be an okay swap if I'm okay with it not being as potent as normal coffee creamer. To fight cravings, I try drinking something lower in calories, such as water or tea, chewing gum, or brushing my teeth. If I still can't stop craving something, I'll eat 1 serving of what I'm craving and be done. I avoid buying junk food. This is easier when my husband joins me in eating healthier or he agrees to eat all of the junk food before it goes bad. I'm wary of calorically dense foods, meaning I'll compare the number of calories and serving sizes to help determine if consuming that food is worth it. However, just because a food item is calorically dense, that doesn't mean it isn't nutritious. Food is temporary happiness. Losing weight and keeping it off is long-term happiness. I remind myself of this when making food-related decisions. I try to be mindful about everything and track everything. Keeping an eye on the macronutrients I consume can boost my metabolism. I do my best to drink plenty of water. A coworker of mine suggested to divide my weight in pounds by 2 and drink that number of water in ounces. I found this helpful. Noom also told me to weigh myself every day at the start of my journey. In the past attempts to lose weight, I always weighed myself first thing each Friday morning. Weighing myself once a week made me more anxious, and I couldn't remember what I all did each week to arrive at my numbers. Now that I weigh myself every day immediately after I wake up, I'm less anxious, and I can easily reflect on what I did the previous day to arrive at my numbers.
Ta-da, ta-da. Exercise!
I find ways to take extra steps. They can add up to burning calories while potentially clearing my mind. I like to walk 2 laps around my workplace during breaks and walk to a further bathroom from my workstation. I also park further back in the parking lot. One way I motivate myself to work out is by temptation bundling. I like to bundle my favorite movies and shows with my workouts. This makes my workout feel more like a reward than a chore. Unfortunately, this can be distracting. If I'm watching something new or in a different language, there's a chance I'll pay more attention to whatever is on my TV than my movements and form. This also usually makes my workouts take longer. When it comes to workouts, any movement is better than no movement. If you can't do what I do, that's fine. Feel free to modify anything or everything. You also don't need to lift any weights if that doesn't work for you. I started without dumbbells for most of these moves, and then I worked my way up from there once I got used to them. I don't know all the official names of these moves, so I made up a lot of them. You'll probably be able to tell they're pretty goofy. Also, my form is probably terrible. I'm not good at physical activities. Don't judge me.
8. Thanks for watching.
Hopefully my video was somewhat helpful for you, despite me being a complete amateur of a human. This is how my life has been going for the past year. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I have told you how I live mine, and it's worked out. And that's all I can say. Continue to make progress with yourself in any way you can. Well, bye!